What can we expect from Maalik Murphy now getting the keys more than likely to the Texas offense if we're trusting what we saw during the latter part of that Houston game where Quinn Ewers goes down, Maalik Murphy comes into the game. So by process of that logic, we're going to assume that it's Maalik Murphy this week against BYU. Now, when it comes to Quinn Ewers, there is no definitive timetable out there right now when it comes to when he's going to be back on the field. Pete Thamel reported it is not believed to be season ending. So what I want to say is we'll talk about the Quinn Ewers stuff more when we get more information on it. Right now it's Monday morning. What I want to focus on is what you can expect from Maalik Murphy this week against BYU. Now, the good news is you get him at home. The good news is you have an offense that has a lot of weapons around you. So we'll talk about this right now. Before we do that, though, make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. We talk college football and only college football every single day. We are live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern is the hard count. We're live tomorrow morning with a big prediction Tuesday, giving you our picks for all the big games in Week 9. So make sure you're dialed in for that. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at JDPikel. So with Maalik Murphy, 6'5", 238 pounds, physically imposing kind of quarterback. He's not Quinn Ewers. And that's okay because Quinn Ewers, in my estimation, is a one-of-one with what he has from an arm talent standpoint. So that's true. Not the same quarterback, but to the exact same token, I don't think with Maalik Murphy running the show for you as an offense, you're physically limited with what you can do throwing the ball downfield. Everybody saw the spring game. Everybody saw Maalik Murphy just uncork a couple deep, and we've seen the physical ability there. So it's not a matter of physical traits to me with Maalik Murphy. The question for Texas when it comes to this game against BYU is getting him comfortable. That's going to be the big challenge. Because I don't doubt Maalik Murphy's had his fair share of reps behind closed doors at practice and probably run with a lot of these, different combinations of starters and reserves. Like, I don't question Maalik Murphy and his ability to play with this offense. It's a matter of playing with this offense now in a live setting. Because as much as you can rep it in practice, it's different when you get out there in a game. Now, it's a lot easier when you've had something to work with in practice, but when it comes to this game against BYU, it's a matter of making sure that he's settled in and that everyone around him is on their P's and Q's to make his job easier. So when I'm looking at how this game could look early on for Texas BYU, I'm running the football if I'm Texas. And the reality is they probably were already going to run the football even if you had Quinn Ewers playing quarterback because that's what Texas is. We have these snapshots of the Alabama game with Quinn Ewers just chucking it deep to Xavier Worthy and Adonai Mitchell, and that all is there, and that's a part of the Texas offense. But those plays are available because of what you do running the football for Texas. Right now, they're averaging right around 38 carries a game as a team as Texas. And if you're able to run the football, it does a couple of things for Maalik Murphy. One, it allows him to live in more manageable situations. So we're averaging right around 3-4 yards a carry. We'd probably get a lot of 3rd and 3. And if it's 3rd and 3, we have the whole playbook open. We can dial up quick game. We can push the ball vertical. We can run the ball again. The defense has to respect every element of our offense, and that makes Maalik Murphy's job a whole lot easier. In that same vein, the picture defensively gets a lot more simplistic for Maalik Murphy to break down. Because again, it's different when you go 11 on 11 on a Saturday afternoon than when you're going 11 on 11 on a Wednesday afternoon at practice or a Wednesday morning at practice, whenever you're practicing as your football team. But what I want to say is if you're able to run the ball effectively, like I expect Texas to do against BYU, well, then you can't be as exotic with how you window dress your defense. You can't rock and roll those safeties quite as much and then get back to your alignment that you wanted to have and try and confuse Maalik Murphy. Because if you are lying defensively and have someone lined up where they're not supposed to be, and we run the football the opposite direction and you're trying to get realigned, well, then you're probably not able to recover quite as quickly. Good things are happening for our offense. So when that happens, if you're not able to lie so much defensively, well, when we do throw the football from Maalik Murphy, I know exactly what I'm looking at. So I'm spending a long time here talking about Texas and the importance of running the football, but I think that has to be paramount for them, especially early in this game. Now, long term, again, I'm not going to talk about the timetable for Quinn Ewers' return because we, at the time of us recording this on a Monday morning, don't have a tremendous gauge for that. But I will say this, long term, I don't expect the Texas offense to look a whole lot different without Quinn Ewers in the lineup. And I don't mean from a output production. It might be a thing where it takes a minute for Maalik Murphy to totally get comfortable. Like I just talked about a second ago, Maalik Murphy, totally different individual. He may feel more comfortable with some concepts that Quinn Ewers wasn't. He might feel less comfortable with some passing plays that Quinn Ewers was comfortable with. So you kind of have to relearn a little bit, I think, your offense with a new quarterback. But ultimately, like, you still want to run the ball, push the ball downfield. You still want to play in this RPO scheme, make that second level of the defense wrong, and deliver the football. And again, Maalik Murphy, throwing the ball, does not do a lot of things that you can't do offensively that Quinn Ewers could do. I'm not saying he's the same player. I'm saying just you're not sacrificing anything in my mind from a standard play call procedure standpoint. So that's kind of the way that I look at this thing with Maalik Murphy. And when it comes to Quinn Ewers not being on the field, might be a gradual ease him into it. But overall, physically, he has everything you need to still score a whole lot of points offensively. He can still push the ball downfield. He can still be accurate in the intermediate game from what we've seen so far. The sample size is very small. But I'm saying over the course of time, that's what I expect from him. I also want to say this, though. Remember Maalik Murphy in the spring game? Really efficient. I think he was like 9 for 13, threw a deep touchdown pass. And there was a lot of buzz after that spring football game with the transfer portal window still open to throw your name in there. And people are watching and waiting with bated breath to see what he would do. There's also rumblings that a lot of schools wanted him. Maalik Murphy says, you know what, I want to stay in Austin. And I think a testament for sure has to be to Maalik Murphy to say, I want to stay here at Texas. I want to be a part of what I've been a part of, and I want to continue to compete and be a part of what we're doing here. But the whole time knowing that he was more than likely not going to be the starting quarterback. And also there's a guy by the name of Arch Manning who's now on the roster. So you're kind of wondering, hey, where does Maalik Murphy fit in here? There has to be a raise and a new parking spot given to the individual or individuals that are in charge of roster retention at Texas. Because right now, if Maalik Murphy were to decide to jump in the transfer portal after that spring game and wanted to go somewhere else, you're then putting the hopes of a Big 12 title and a college football playoff berth on the shoulders of a true freshman quarterback in Arch Manning. Now, I love Arch Manning. I think he's going to be really good at Texas for a long time. But that's a lot of pressure for a kid who's been on campus all of like 45 minutes. I know he enrolled early still. Do you really want to ask that of Arch Manning? Is that really the kind of scenario you want his first experience of college football to be? I don't think so. And again, I'm an Arch Manning stan here. I'm telling you, he's going to be good. But the fact that you have Maalik Murphy there, a guy who's been in college for a while, a guy who's been developed for a while, he's been in the system for a while, like all those things now play into the hands of Texas as they try and keep this thing rolling and try and, again, get back to the Big 12 title game and get to the college football playoff and all those things. And they're doing it right now without a mulligan. Can't lose another game if you want to make the college football playoff, that is. You've already had your one loss to Oklahoma. You think you're going to get them again in that Big 12 title game. But again, if you had Arch Manning running the show, I think the anxiety level in Texas would be just a little bit higher. So this tells me that Texas has their ducks in a row when it comes to, the roster retention game, whatever you want to factor into that. And it also tells me that Texas has something very real to buy into. Like, I don't think Maalik Murphy is staying at Texas if it's a toxic culture situation, if he doesn't like the staff, doesn't like the locker room, doesn't think it's going anywhere. Like, I think this says a lot about what Texas has internally that Maalik Murphy chose to stay. And it's a huge, I think, sigh of relief in a lot of ways that he did choose to stay because of a situation just like this. So you hope Quinn Ewers gets healthy sooner rather than later. You're encouraged to hear that Pete Thamel's reporting that he doesn't believe it's season ending. We'll talk about that when we get a better timetable for it. Again, we're Monday morning right now. No information on that. Maybe by the time you're watching this, there is information out on that. But regardless, Maalik Murphy, I think you're in good hands. Might be a process, but I think overall, physically, he's got everything you need to run this Texas offense like you've seen it run now to the point that we're at in this season. Make sure you're subscribed. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at JD Patel. Let me know what you think. Maybe what's your confidence level with Maalik Murphy now running the show on the 40 acres. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.